Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Let's talk reparrying. In my opinion, reparrying is one of the most important skills you can learn in this game, and once you've got basic parrying and dexterity down, reparrying is probably the next one you should focus on, even before things like intercepting. With the rise of non-contact attacks, tranquilize, and anything else that stops you stunning the opponent, the ability to still get your openings is becoming more and more useful as the game evolves, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. At its core, reparrying is simply being able to parry any hit in the opponent's combo that isn't the first one. To start with, you'll only be able to get the second hit, but with a bit of practice you will be able to parry hits 3, 4 and potentially 5 if the opponent doesn't decide to throw a heavy instead. Now, why is this particularly useful? Well, if you can't parry stun the opponent on their dash attack, for whatever reason, and we'll have a look at a few, then you might still want to be able to parry them, and this is for more reasons than wanting to stun the opponents. Yes, that is incredibly helpful, but many champions have effects that don't take place or can be removed by stunning them. For example, Dragon Man and his power gain is removed when you stun him. It also allows you to maintain excellent flow control in a fight. If you miss the parry, the ability to reliably fall back on your reparries is so important to just maintain tempo, keep your cool, and get through those tougher moments. So, how do we do it? Well, very simply, you just stop blocking with your thumb, or finger, depending on how you play, and then block again in rapid succession. It's often made to seem much more complicated than it actually is. Once you parry the opponent's attack, lift your thumb, and then simply try and block the next hit. This can be made more complicated against opponents such as Quicksilver or Okoye that have weird numbers of hits in their various attacks, but for the vast majority of champions that have 5 hits, which means 5 hits, it is simply the same timing every single time, and once you get it down, it's really not too bad. Let's get the fingers out then. So this was really annoying to film, but I think it is really important. You can see exactly how I'm doing it here. This fight isn't going overly brilliantly, but my goal here is to demonstrate reparrying, not how to fight Ebony Maw. If only we had a video on how to do that. But I know that Ebony Maw's first medium attack, so his dash-in attack, is non-contact, which means my Luke Cage cannot parry it. So, when he comes in, we parry, then the finger comes up, and the finger goes down, attempting to parry the second hit. If he decides to do 2 medium attacks, because both his medium attacks are non-contact, then you can see it says parry twice on the left-hand side. Just because you don't stun the opponent doesn't mean you can't practice reparrying at all. So, non-contact attacks are the primary reason I rely on reparrying, and there are many champions, old and new, that have non-contact mediums or other hits within their combo, or in Shuri's case, all of them. So that can make parrying them very, very difficult. But what are the other reasons we might want to reparry? Firstly, cleanse or purify mechanics. Up against this Jabari Panther, when she dashes in, she triggers her cleanse charge, and that is going to remove our stun, so we need to reparry on her second attack. This does put the cleanse on cooldown, but we need to watch for when it comes so we can avoid getting hit. A similar thing crops up when looking at the Masochism node. This will remove debuffs in basically the same way, and so we can see against this Miles that he's going to remove our debuff here, which means we need to parry twice. Again, very useful in many different situations. There are a whole list of champions I could go through that have non-contacts, but I expect you know the vast majority of them because you've probably tried to deal with them yourselves. Champions like Iron Man Infinity War, Havoc, Ebony Maw, Shuri, Domino, Zemo, so many, old and new. As a final comment, I have found no difference in reparrying or the ability to do so when playing at 30 versus 60 frames per second, as well as on phone and PC. Both seem absolutely doable. There might be a fractional change, but with a bit of practice, I don't see anyone having any issues, regardless of what they're playing on. So, there you have it. My thoughts and guide on reparrying. Probably the most useful skill you can pick up in Marvel Contest of Champions that isn't the basic controls. If you have any questions, please leave those down in the comments. I will do my best to answer as many as possible. And consider joining the Discord server linked in the description. A great place to get specific advice, make suggestions for future video topics, and while I'm awake, I do my best to be there as much as possible. Thank you, and I will see you next time.